All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Monday, the 13th of March, 2023, and it is 9:11 p.m. And I feel like, I shouldn't have said that. I feel like that was illegal to say. Why do I feel like this audio setting is needing to be adjusted? God damn you, silly equipment. Welcome back to another day, another dollar. Not another dollar, but another day, definitely. I don't even know what day this is. And I got it wrong yesterday, actually. I said yesterday was 70 or 71 or something. I can't remember. But today, I don't know what the number is. I'm not going to tell you what episode it is. You'll see it in the title. And you'll also hear it yesterday when I messed up. You'll hear that I was wrong. Welcome back. I didn't do much today. I sat around and I played a hell of a lot of COD. And I waited because Mads was doing like a big assessment thing she's got for uni, like almost 2,000 words or something, 1,800 words. I can't remember what she said, but I was letting her sort of do that and giving her some space and trying to stay quiet. So, so I ended up just playing COD all day. And by quiet, I mean like I was fucking yelling, I guess, at the game. But I was not bothering her, which I tend to do when I get bored. And if I was sitting around doing stuff that I found boring, I would keep coming and pestering her. Ended up cooking dinner. We cooked a bean something or other. I was looking up, Mad said she wanted to cook something with beans because we had a bunch of beans in the cupboard. And so I made like a soup or a stew or something like that. I don't know. It's meant to be a sauce, but I put a lot of water in it. So I guess stew maybe because I cooked it down heaps. So it's thick like a sauce, but it's Anyway, it's got beans, white beans and black beans. Oh, it's got a 3-bean Mexican mix, 3 Mexican beans, 3-bean Mexican mix. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, that was yum. We had that for tea. And now I'm doing this podcast late because I couldn't think of anything to talk about this morning. And then Mads also just jumped straight into the study, which is where I sit to do this, so that she could do her essay. And so now I'm just vibing out. I don't know what to talk about, but maybe I'll talk about missing Oaks Estate. Mads and I used to live in a place called Oaks Estate when we lived in Canberra. And it's a small pocket of Canberra that you have to travel into New South Wales to get access to. The only entrance to that small pocket of Canberra is through New South Wales, through Queanbeyan, over the border. And it consists of 5 or 6 streets. And it is just a little place, just a little cute little place. And we lived in a unit block, and we were on the bottom unit, and it had like a trail at the back where you could walk down. I need to move that so it doesn't vibrate again. It had a little trail that you could walk down, and you could like just explore. There was a river at the back as well that flooded one time. Mads and I used to go, when we lived there, we used to go and just... Actually, let me explain the place before we say that. So, it was a bottom corner unit. It was number 1. And so we were right off the ground floor, but the ground floor where we were, the ground sort of was a bit hilly. So we had like an under storage space. Now, we didn't actually touch or use the under storage space, but it was there. And we did we basically lived in this place. Maddie got it really cheap because she worked with the lady that was renting it out. I think we ended up paying $280 a week, which is like cheap for Canberra. Anyway, it was a 1-bedroom unit with and it had a laundry, but like it sort of was like a U shape. So the kitchen and the lounge room and the dining area was all sort of open access. Like you could see into the kitchen from where you sat on the couch, and you could see into the bedroom, depending on which part of the couch you sat on. But it was just enough for two people and their 2 cats. And it was like, sometimes it felt like we didn't have a lot of space, which, I mean, we didn't really. It was a small apartment. Not much bigger than what we've got now, actually. We've got an extra room now. If we didn't have an extra room, then it would be the same size. And we pay, I think, like $60 more than what we paid there. Anyway, we loved that place. That was a place where we got to sort of, I want to say, flourish, right? We both worked full-time hours. We both made good money. We could hang out. We could do whatever we wanted to. We saved a good amount of money. We were able to just like hang out. And there was a trail at the back, and we would often, like in the warmer days, we would always get out and go for a walk. Most of the time, we'd smoke a joint or two while we're out there walking. And then it started to get a bit weird because there was like squatters that came and lived. Oh, it's squatters. They were homeless people. They came and they set up a tent down the back there, and they just started camping, but like living there. And I was just say it was like a sketchy place, right? It was one of those places where everybody was like, "Ooh, you live in Oxford State?" Oh, fuck, man. I'm so sorry. I keep yawning. I reckon that's like half of the episodes I yawn. And we lived out there, and we hung out. We used to go get our friends around, and they'd come, and we did our engagement photo shoot out there. We'd go down to the river, and we'd just sit and watch. It was where I proposed to Mads. It was just one of those places where, like, when you look back fondly, of all the places I've lived since I moved out of home, I lived with my sister for a little bit, and then things didn't work out there. Then Mads and I moved into like this shitty little apartment, and then from there we moved into like a friend's house. We ended up paying like just above what they were paying for their mortgage. And then they moved because they had two properties, and these, like, their friends were like double our age, but they had two properties, and then they moved into one property and we moved into the other, and we were helping pay their mortgage down, which allowed them it gave us cheap rent and some sort of independence and space, and it gave them a bit more access to financial freedom. So like it was sort of a give and a take, I think, where both of us sort of came out on top. I want to say succeeded. We were both like, no one lost in that arrangement, and we got like a cool house, and we didn't have to, like, they got to keep all their stuff there, so we just sort of moved in and occupied a furnished house, and so it was also like we had to make sure that we maintained the place, we kept things clean, and we looked after their things, and and that was cool, but it was in another town, so it was like a way for us to explore living not at home or not near our families. I mean, it was still near, about 20 minutes away, but still. And then from there, we moved to Canberra. We just packed up our cars. I remember the day that we packed up our cars and packed up everything, and we didn't even get the chance to fully clean because we said we're moving. That's the day we're moving. We could have pushed it to the next day. We could have waited to the day after. It didn't matter, but we just decided, fuck it. If we don't do it now, we're not going to do it. All of our stuff will be sitting in our cars if we don't just get up and do it. So Maddie's mum came in clutch and went around and cleaned up the place a little bit before the keys got handed back. And yeah, we just hung out. It was really cool. It was a cool move. I remember we moved to Canberra. It was like a 45-degree day, and so as we were driving, we'd keep stopping every now and again, but we couldn't turn the cars off because the cats were in the car, so we had to like make sure that we were sort of maintaining that and looking after the cats. And we drove all the way there, and I remember my car sort of fucked out a little bit. We had to take it to a mechanic, and the mechanic was like, "How did you drive this?" Because the clutch, apparently, like all the shavings or something from where it was, like, I don't know, there was just a bunch of metal shavings in the bottom of this cavity at the bottom. I don't know I don't know nothing about engines, but basically the guy said, like, that's fucked up and you shouldn't have been able to drive that anywhere near as far as you drove it. So that was kind of cool. I was lucky. And then we lived for 2 years in Canberra as just people exploring ourselves and exploring life. And now we're doing the same thing here in Melbourne, but we're closer. It was good. It was an escape. We could get away from everybody that we knew and loved, and we could create new identities of ourselves, new ideas of ourselves. And coming back to Melbourne and being around the people that we do know and love, it's not necessarily that we can't do that. It's that because we've created those identities of ourselves or come into ourselves more so, coming back to Melbourne has been a lot easier to transition to that, to adjusting our friends and our other people that we knew before Canberra, adjusting them back to that. And also it didn't help moving to Canberra that we had the pandemic happen pretty much straight away. So we moved in 2019 and then 2020 happened. And then we moved back at 2021. So we didn't get to see any of our friends and family, which was like the first year there, we were meant to hang out and do our thing. The second year there, we were meant to go and see our friends and family. And we didn't get to do that. So, but anyway, I'm going to go and eat some ice cream. After dinner, go and hang out with Mads, we've been watching Community, which is a fucking great show. If you guys haven't seen Community, go and do that. But we're going to go watch Community, eat some ice cream, hang out, and then tomorrow hopefully I'll have some more interesting stuff. I'm doing nothing at the moment, so there's nothing interesting happening. I don't have any stories to tell. I don't have anything going on. So hopefully tomorrow I hear back from some of the jobs I've been applying for, and yeah, I can come back with some positive updates. Thank you for listening, and have a good night.